A two-tower cable system is possibly the best place to learn to wakeboard for a few reasons. For one, you're much closer to your instructor than you would be in a traditional boat environment, and they have much more control over your speed. There's no wake in front of you, so you're riding through clean, unbroken water, and the high angle of the carrier helps you get up, stay up, and avoid hard crashes. Since 2014, we've had an almost perfect success rate in getting people up on the water. So even if you're passionate about riding behind a boat, let us save you gas money and teach you how to wakeboard here before you continue on in the rest of your water sports journey. Our lessons are split into 3 sections: land training, basic water training, and advanced water training, where we'll show you how you can turn around at the end of the line without stopping. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Before starting your lesson, head over to the beach house and check in. One of our instructors will take you to the equipment container and we'll get you set up with a board and a life jacket. Even though the gear helps you float, basic swimming skills are required for this lesson. Now, land training is designed to mirror the movements of getting up on the water for the first time. So what that means is if we can help you stand from a seated position on land, you can get up on a wakeboard. Your first instinct will probably be active muscle involvement, where you try to pull yourself up by your own strength. But the key here is actually to let the rope do all the work for you, as it pulls you through the process of chest to knees, hips to heels, and eyes to shore. Once you've nailed land training, we'll help you get comfortable with your equipment in the water. It takes time to build trust in your life jacket and board, but we'll be there to support you through the process. Once you're ready to ride, we'll start you off at an easy pace, and the rope will guide you through the process you learned on land. Chest to knees, hips to heels, and eyes to shore. And that's when you can turn your board to the side for a proper riding stance. Riding on the water's surface feels like you're on top of the world. The freedom and natural movement of the board through the water make it feel like you're flying. Once you get comfortable with this feeling, we'll take you further and further down the lake so you can explore and get a feeling for how to direct your board where you want it to go, how to get from one side of the cable to the other. And if you're figuring out how to direct your board to either be to the side of the cable or right underneath it, that means you're ready for the third part of this lesson, which is advanced water training. Now, this is where everything comes together, and we work on the process of turning around at the end of the line without stopping. To explain how this method works, let's take a look at a top-down angle. Here, you can see how our rider is very distinctly riding underneath the path of the cable. That's super important because the first step of this process is gradually carving out to the side. As she builds momentum, she starts carving harder to draw a curved line on the water's surface until the tow rope is almost completely perpendicular to the cable. While she's doing that, the operator actually slows down the carrier so the rider can catch up to and actually pass the carrier itself. The momentum she built in her carve easily swings her around the carrier with steady tension in the rope, so it's no problem to reverse and go back down the lake. Now, when you're out on the water, here's how we'll walk you through this process. As you approach the shore, we'll point to the side. Once we do that, pick a distant object on the shore and focus on it. Gradually lean over the edge of your board, almost like you're sitting in a chair, and that'll start to direct you towards the object you're focusing on. As you build momentum, start carving harder and actually make it your intention to reach the object you're focusing on shore. As you keep carving, you'll actually feel the tow rope start to redirect you away from shore, as it's acting more like a rope swing now. The key here is to keep carving in the same direction and let the tow rope do all the work of turning you around. Now, mastering this technique can actually be a little technical, and it takes most people several tries to figure it out. Sometimes it's even best to take a break, recharge, and come back for a next steps class where you can fine-tune your skills. Learning to ride nonstop is incredibly rewarding, and if you can do it, it actually means you have all the skills you need to ride our full-size cable, which means you will have passed our never ever class. Over the years, we've heard over and over about negative experiences learning, and this class exists to dismantle whatever bad experiences you may have had in the past or whatever worries you might have about the future. Learning to wakeboard doesn't have to be frustrating, and what we want to do is continue ushering in new people to this sport that we've all fallen so in love with.